Okay, so the first 6-string shape has a root note on the 6th string. If I'm an A, here it's going to be on the 5th fret. It's the root. 7th is always sort of the next thing. You skip a string and you go fret higher for that 7th. Sounds like a weird thing, but when you put it all together, it'll make sense. The pinky in this shape on the next string is the 3rd. So I always have the root, the 7th, and a 3rd with a string in between. Root, 7th, and 3rd, and that 5th string is just going to be muted. And then this one, the 5th, is on the 2nd string. You're going to get that with the middle finger. So you have this. Major 7th. For a dominant 7th, so again, root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th, we're going to flat the 7th. So take this note, move it down a fret. So instead of root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th, I'm going to refinger that, move this note down. So I'll use my middle finger to get that 7th down. Instead of here, it's going to go here. Instead of this finger, I'm using the middle finger. And then that 3rd again with the pinky on the 3rd string. And then the 5th, this time I'll get with my ring finger. So instead of this, major 7th, frets are 5, 6, 6, and 5 on the 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, and 2nd string. Now we have 5, 5, 6, and 5. So instead of major again is 5, 6, 6, and 5. Now we have 5, 5, 6, 5. That's dominant. And if you just play them on their own with one finger, here's the root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. You can practice being able to play licks on these things by taking each of those notes and walking up and walking down them chromatically. Now on the string. And you can also get the same root on the 1st string. So instead of this, you can take that root, put it on the 1st string, and again, just refinger it in whatever way is comfortable. So you can do a bar here. So that is 5, 5, 6, and 6 instead of 5, 6, 6, and 5. Again, root instead of on the 6th string. Root, 7th is here, 3rd is here, and 5th is here. We take that shape, move the 7th down, make it dominant. Instead of this note, we're going to get this note. You can refinger that with a bar. So you have 5, 6, 5, and 5. Here's the major, here's the dominant. Okay, so you could also do that with a bar as long as you don't hit the 5th string. That's dominant. To make minor, you take the 3rd. So now we have a root, a flat 7th, a 3rd, and a 5th. Take the 3rd and flat it. So you can do it with 4 fingers, or you can use your middle finger and ring finger, or you can just bar it and not hit the 5th string. So in the minor, you have a flat 3rd and a flat 7th. Take these 2 notes and move them both down. So instead of this, you have a half diminished is that minor 7, but with a flat 5. It's a minor 7, flat 5. So here's the root, flat 7th, flat 3rd, and now we're going to take that 5th and flat it. So instead of the 5th fret, we're going to go to the 4th fret. Get all those same other notes. Root, flat 7, flat 3rd, flat 5th. And again, you can do that on the top string. So if you want to get the root here, up here, same note. Then you're going to have flat 7, flat 3rd, flat 5th, and root. So here's the major, like this or like this. Here's the dominant, or like this. Here's the minor, or, and here's the minor 7 flat 5, also called a half diminished. Diminished is that exact same thing, minor 7 flat 5, with the 7th note, it's already flatted, move down another, doubly flatted 7th, also called a 6th. So, take this note, move it down to here. So now we have a root, a doubly flatted 7th. Taken from the 7, move down 2 frets, flat 3rd, and flat 5th. So you can get that with a bar. So root, doubly flatted 7, flat 3rd, flatted 5th. You can also again get that root up here. So you have a root, doubly flatted 7th, flatted 3rd, flatted 5th. And that chord can move around 3 frets. That still has the same notes in it. Okay, so that's all the basic chord types. One of the things you'll see a lot in funkier, jazzier sounding stuff is alterations. So for example, if you have a dominant 7th with a sharp 5, again, here's our major, root, 7th, 3rd, 5th. Always those 4 notes. Root, the 7th, 3rd, and the 5th. Or root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. In this case, the fingers are root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. So we're going to flat that 7th. That's the dominant. You can do it with a bar. And if we do, say, a dominant 7th with a sharp 5, you just take the 5th note and move it up 1 fret. So refinger that however you can get it. There's a sharp 5 in my pinky, a 3rd in my ring finger, a flat 7 in my middle finger, and a pointer on the root. Again, that sounds kind of funny out of context, but when you hear it like... you'll hear it in that kind of minor context. A lot of these chords will sound really... a lot of the dissonant chords will sound right over a minor chord. Cool. Okay, so that's the root 6 shape. We had major, dominant with a flat 7, minor with a flat 7 and a flat 3, minor 7 flat 5, also called half diminished, with a flat 7, a flat 3, and a flat 5, and then diminished with one of doubly flatted 7, a flat 3, and a flat 5. 1 and 6, however you want to call that, but it's doubly flatted 7. And you can do all those same with the root note on the first string. Major, dominant 7th with a flat 7, minor 7 with a flat 7 and a flat 3, minor 7 flat 5 or half diminished with a flat 3, a flat 7, and a flat 5, and then diminished with doubly flatted 7, flat 3, flat 5, and 1. And of course you can do any of these things with an alteration. So for example, the sharp 5 again is a dominant with a sharp 5. We're up here, root, flat 7, 3rd, and sharp 5. I'm going to do all those same types of chords with the root note on the 5th string. So if you're up here on an A, here's all the same types of chords. It looks like this: the 12th fret, 14th fret, 13th fret, and 14th fret. Again, 12, 14, 13, and 14. And these notes again work the same way. Root note on the 5th string, the 7th, skip a string, go a fret up. And then you have a 3rd, just like you did before, next fret up, do it with your pinky. And the 5th this time is on the 4th string. That 5th moves around a lot. You'll find it in different places. You'll always see the root and the 7th string apart like that, usually 1 fret apart, depending on what strings you're on, but in this case you're always going to find it 1 fret apart. 3rd is always right above that. And then the 5th, you could actually, in this case, you could find the 5th up on top. That would work. We're going to do this one. So root, here's your 5th, here's your 7th, and here's your 3rd. Or here's your root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. Think about it like that. So you're always thinking about the 7th, and here's the 3rd here. That's major. To make dominant, you're going to flat the 7th. That middle string note, middle finger note, we're going to move down. And you do that by taking the middle finger note and moving it down into the bar. You're already covering, your middle finger was on the 13th fret. You already have your finger at the 12th fret, so just bar it there. Now you have, instead of major, 12, 14, 13, and 14, you have 12, 14, 12, and 14. That's dominant. Minor, you're going to take the 3rd, which is in your pinky, and move that down a fret. You can use your middle finger to do that. So instead of being at 14, you got to use a finger to get 13. Okay, so you start out with major, flat the middle finger into the bar to make it dominant. To make minor, take that dominant, flat the 3rd. So there's a flat 7th and a flat 3rd. You want to make the half diminished, minor 7, flat 5, take the 5th, move it down a fret. You probably refinger that best like this, or use a finger on each one. You can kind of see here that, again, half diminished is a flat 3, a flat 7, and a flat 5. or flat 7, flat 3, and a flat 5. You kind of start with the 7th, that gets flatted first for the dominant. Go to the 3rd, you flat that for minor, and then for the half diminished, you flat the 5 also. So flat 7, flat 3, and then flat 5. So here's our major again, 12, 14, 13, 12. That's A major 7. If you flat all of those notes, the 7th, 3rd, and the 5th, you can just think of these 3 fingers moving down and keeping your root at the same place. That's a half diminished chord, minor 7, flat 5. So we have a root 7th, 3rd, I'm sorry, root 7, root 5th, 7th, and 3rd. Flat the 7th for dominant, flat the 3rd for minor, flat the 5th for half diminished. And then, to make the diminished, for half diminished is this. For fully diminished, you need to make that middle finger go down one more note. So we'll use our pointer finger. Now we've got root, flat 5, doubly flatted 7, and flat 3. And that's the one that you can move up. The girl in the railroad tracks chord. Okay. So again, that's all of them. If you want to think about an altered dominant, in this case, for example, here's our major, flat the 7th, and move the ring finger down a fret to make maybe a flat 5. So this is a dominant 7th, an A7, with a flatted 5th. Again, that sounds weird on its own. A, dominant, flat 7th, and then with a flatted 5th. It's an altered chord. But if you put that in context in a doesn't sound so far out there. It's just a little funky. Cool. Okay, so now we got 2 more shapes here. We start on the 6th string. You can find an octave note on the 4th string, 2 frets higher and 1 string different. Here's the root. The 7th is on the 2nd string, 3rd is right above it. This time it's a fret higher because the tuning is different there. And then the 5th is on the 3rd string, so you have this little row of notes. Again, it's root, this is your 5th, there's your 7th again, crossing a string for the 7th, and the 3rd is on the next string. So that's major. If I want to make a dominant, I take that 7th note, move it down a fret. So the 2nd string note, move it down. Get all the same notes. So root, 5th, flat 7th, and 3rd. If I want to make a minor, I take the flat 7th and move the 3rd down. Flat the 3rd. If I want to take that and turn it into a half diminished, I move that ring finger note down a fret. So you kind of got to refinger that. You could use one finger if you want. So in that case, I've moved all 3 of these, the 3rd, the 7th, and the 5th, all down a fret. So here's major, here's half diminished. Okay, so again, here's root on the 7th fret, 9, 9, 9. Flat the 2nd string, that's the 7th, you got a dominant. Flat the 1st string, that's the 3rd, you got a minor. Flat the 3rd string along with that, you got a half diminished. And again, flat the 2nd string, doubly flat the 7th, you got a diminished. Same as you had down here. And if you wanted to do, for example, a dominant 7th with a sharp 5, you could do this. Or with a flat 5th, you could do like this. And that sounds funny, but not out of context. That's the 4th string. Again, root, here's your 7th, 3rd, and 5th is on the 3rd string. So root, 5th, 7th, and 3rd. Here's dominant, move the 7th down on the 2nd string. Here's minor, or move the 1st string down, the 3rd. Here's half diminished, move the 3rd string down along with all those. And then diminished, move the 2nd string down again. And one final one up on the 5th string, we have this shape. We can find the octave here on the 3rd string. In this case, we have a little shape like this. Again, it's the root here, skip a string. There's your 7th, the 3rd is right next to it on the 2nd string, and the 5th is all the way down here on the 4th string. So the 7th and the 3rd are kind of inverted this time because we run out of notes here. So if you look at this, root is the 3rd string, 3rd is the 2nd string, 2 frets higher is the 7th, and the 5th is on the 4th string. So it's 5th, root, third, and 7th. That's 14, 14, 14, and 16, the frets. So move the 7th down, that's the first string. You get a dominant. Move the 3rd down, the 2nd string, down a fret, and you get these notes, so it would be 14, 14, 13, and 15. Move the 5th down, it's on the 4th string, and you get a half diminished. And move that 7th down again, and you get that same shape for the diminished chord again. Okay, so that's 4 different chord shapes. One with the 6th string, the octave 4th string. One with the 5th string, and the octave 3rd string. So again, here's all of them. 6th string, you have root, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. Dominant is root, flat, 7th, 3rd, and 5th. Minor is root, flat, 7th, flat, 3rd, and 5th. Half diminished is root, flat, 7th, flat, 3rd, and flat, 5th. And diminished is root, doubly flatted, 7th, flat, 3rd, flat, 5th. On the 4th string, root, 5th, 7th, and 3rd. Flat the 7th, so root 5th, flat, 7th, and 3rd, that's dominant. Minor is root 5th, flat, 7th, flat, 3rd. And half diminished is root, flat, 5th, flat, 7th, flat, 3rd. And diminished, doubly flat that 7th, so root, flat, 5th, doubly flatted 7th, and flat, 3rd. Up here, A on the 12th fret, root 5th, 7th, and 3rd. Dominant is root 5th, flat, 7th, and 3rd. Minor is root 5th, flat, 7th, and flat, 3rd. Half diminished is root, flat, 5, flat, 7, flat, 3rd. And fully diminished is root 5th, doubly flat, 7, and flat, 3rd. And then here, the A octave is 5th, root, 3rd, and 7th. 7th chord dominant is 5th, root, 3rd, and flat, 7. Minor is flat the 3rd, 5th, root, flat 3rd, flat 7. Half diminished is flat the 5, flat 5 root, flat 3rd, and flat 7. And then diminished is flat that 7th again, so flat 5, root, flat 3rd, and doubly flatted 7th. 4 positions. We have one more, but that'll get you all the way up the fretboard, but that's enough. Remember also you have for the 6th string one, you also can just replace that with the 1st string. So you could do root, 7th, 3rd, 5th, root, flat, 7th, 3rd, 5th, root, flat, 7, flat, 3rd, 5th, root, flat, 7, flat, 3rd, flat, 5, root, and root, flat, doubly, flat, 7th, flat, 3rd, flat, 7, and root. Okay, that should be enough.